Hey, it's Sandy with Quilted Treasures and More. Happy Valentine's Eve. Let me make sure that yes, had to make sure the volume was up. It happens from time to time. So we've had a couple of weeks where the volume did not kick in when I hit the go button. And so just trying to check and make sure all is well. So I think we're good to go. This week we have got an Easter truck on the crafting table, and so we've got the truck here, and you may can see the three little Easter bunnies here. They're probably kind of faint right now, but as we start getting color on it, then you will definitely see all the little Easter bunnies and all of their cuteness. Now, what did I do with my picture? Oh, there it is. Okay. My picture was hidden by another screen. So let's see here if I can get my screens to cooperate. There we go. I think that will work. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start out with white because the tails on our little bunnies, and yes, I know they are painted white, but I like to go over them again because this is simply a, there we go. Now you can see a little bit better. What I've got here is just a base coat. And so what I want to do is get it darkened up. Hi there, my friend. Um, I am using a new program, and because it is not a program, because it's not within Facebook itself, it will not show me your name unless you tell Facebook, or StreamYard is the name of the program. If you tell StreamYard that I am not a weird person and that you don't mind sharing your name with me. So that's up in the description where you can give StreamYard permission to actually be able to tell me, well, the dog and his food bag have collided in the kitchen. Are you okay, dude? I saw it. It was a hit and run. Anyway, hey, Miss Allison. I am so glad you're here with me tonight. Them babies are growing so big. Oh my goodness. I am just floored every time you post pictures of them babies. I cannot believe how fast they are growing. Of course, we saw some people today, and they were just like the last time they saw Charity. I don't know what's up with the dog. He and the food bag are fighting or something. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, the last time this group of folks saw Charity, Charity was quite young. Charity is my daughter, for those who don't know, and so she is grown up now and much taller than I am. And so it was an interesting morning as we visited with some friends of ours, and they were just like, "Oh my gosh, how she has grown." I'm like, "Yes, she has grown, and she loves the fact that she is excuse me, that she is way taller than her mother now. She just enjoys that fact so very much." So but your sweet little ones are growing too. It's funny how we want them not to grow, but then we do want them to grow, and when they do grow, then we fuss. That's just the role of a mama. Mine tells me all the time, "You fuss about everything." It's the role of a mama. What can I say? All right, so I've done the pink little tail or the white little tails. Now I'm going to move on to the pink because we do have a bunny that is pink. It's going to be this bunny right over here. And we're going to paint this one bubblegum pink to begin with. And then we're going to add a little bit of extra pink in with the bubblegum. We're going to start out with the bubblegum first and get a good coat of bubble gum on our little bunny. One other thing I've noticed about StreamYard, talking about that, giving it permission so it will show me who's talking to me. Periodically, it will do a reset. And even if you've given it permission, sometimes it will reset and all of a sudden it won't remember you. So I've had that in several groups that I'm in. They use StreamYard, and we have discovered that problem. I switched from my other program because if you've been watching for a little while, you know I started with one program and I switched to this one because the other one was giving me problems with Facebook. And so this one seems to have very few glitches, knock on wood. And so we're excited about having less glitches to deal with. All right, I'm going to flip this upside down. And some of y'all are going to be like, oh my goodness. I would rather paint from, one direction, but it doesn't always work for me. When I am working on a door hanger or a piece, whether it's easel art or one of the Broken Pieces collection, I tend to I have a Lazy Susan underneath my my door hanger here, and I tend to spin it around a lot as I'm working. It just makes it easier and makes the process go faster for me. So I tend to flip things around. All right. Now, I just realized one thing that I did not do, and I'm going to jump back, put it in reverse just for a minute. You know what? I am going to, let's see. Now, I have flat edges, so let me grab one more flat brush here. I'm going to grab one more flat brush, and real quick, before I go any further, I am going to do the mirrors and the window in the light gray. And the reason why I'm going to do that is I try to get my lighter colors done first and then move to my darker colors. I don't always remember to do that. It's a good practice to get into, but I don't always remember. So I know I'm doing Easter, and I did Valentine's Day back in the middle of January, I guess. And so my Valentine's stuff, of course, is already come and gone. But have a few Mardi Gras things I'm working on right now, just as far as what's going on and around the crafting table. But Easter is on its way. I feel like I should be singing an Easter song right now that has to do with the bunny. But with that being said, I was like, oh, I had seen this was one of the new templates that I got for the month of February. And I was like, oh, he's a cute Easter bunny truck. And so I decided that I would do this one tonight. I have to run over the edge of my other bunny there just for a fuzz. Okay. If you hear talking in the background, I'm trying to keep everything. Got my AirPods in, hoping to cancel out any extra noise, but we've got several things going on in the house tonight. So I'm trying to keep things where it is not all overlapping. So hopefully I will succeed in that task. All right, y'all. I really thought I had picked the right brush for this, but now I'm getting to a point where I'm like, I think I should have picked a smaller, just a slightly smaller one. I'm going to wait and come back and hit that in just a minute with a smaller brush. So as I'm adding color, you can start to see our Easter bunnies and the truck itself take shape. And we're working on, of course, some Easter colors. So I've got a pink and got like a mint or a sea breeze color that I'll be using. I've got lavender picked out. I'm actually going to do the truck in lavender. Of course, all these colors can be changed up to colors that work better with Easter themes around your house. I don't think I've ever painted a lavender truck. I have done green trucks. I have done blue trucks. I have done red trucks. And I have done blue, green, darker green. I've done light green and dark green and crimson trucks. I was trying to think if there's any other. There you are. Any other color trucks that I have done? Oh yes, I did a Bahama blue truck one time. Now the Bahama blue is matter of fact, I have Bahama blue right here. Bahama blue is this color. And so I did a truck that color once. So, but I've never done a purple truck, or in this case, a lavender truck. And so I thought that would be a cute color for Easter. So I'm going to stick with a sample that I saw and go with the lavender truck. You could change it up into a blue truck and a purple bunny. That would work. That would definitely work. Oh, I have managed to get a little bit of gray on my pink bunny. No, we can't have gray on the pink bunny. We only want pink on the pink bunny. All right, so all I'm doing right now is just filling in some of the little spaces where my other brush didn't quite get the job done because it was bigger. It worked well for the in between the bigger spaces, but now we're just going to do a little bit of a touch up and we shall move on. I'll have to come back and also do the pink. A little bit of touch up on the pink because it is, I always like to do 2 coats just to make sure everything's covered well. All right, any other little spots here? I've got some spring things that I am working on. Not just Easter, but some spring door hangers and stuff that I am working on. Like I said, I'm doing Mardi Gras this week, trying to get couple more of those out for folks who are decorating for Mardi Gras. And then I move into spring and Easter mode. Also, coming up in the month of March, if you know anyone with a child or grandchild who loves to draw and paint, the doors to the online art club will be opening up in the month of March. So we're not too far from that. I actually started mentioning it this past week. And of course, I'll mention it even more as we get closer to March. All right. Put that back, and I am going to go back to this brush and get that all in there. Go back to this brush and get the rest of the bunny, or another coat on the bunny. All right, so I got to know who's simultaneously watching Facebook and the game that's going on. It's so funny. We don't have the game on here at the house. We have done game get-togethers in the past where we've gone to friends and various folks that we know who have had get-togethers for this particular game that happens each year. But this year we are just hanging out at the house, and something was said about, well, you could probably skip doing a live tonight. And I'm like, well, I enjoy painting. It helps me to relax from the week, and I like hanging out with whoever can come hang out with me, because it gives me a chance to share what's going on with Quilted Treasures and with me, and crazy stuff that's, going on during the week, or fun stuff that's going on during the week. And I do know some of y'all will actually be watching this on replay. I have quite a few folks who catch it on the replay. All right, so we have got, I'm going to flip it back around here. That way you can see, in case you just jumped on and you're going, what in the world is she painting? Now you can kind of see the outline of the bunnies. You know what? I do need to look and see which bunny. Okay. If you notice, there's an ear here. Okay, this is not some weird deformity for this middle bunny. This is actually this bunny here whose ear is stuck over in front of him. So I had to see which bunny it was, because it just dawned on me. Oh, if you finish painting with the pink and that is the pink bunny's ear, you're in trouble. So no, it's not the pink bunny's ear. It's this bunny over here. All right, so next I am going to go ahead and blue or green. Let's go ahead and do the middle bunny. I'll just do them in order. We will just do them in order. And so next I'm going to, I have a big chunk of paint. It was on the, there we go. It's a chunk of paint that was on the top of the bottle. So it fell off into my paint that I poured out. So there are quite a few Easter templates that I got this time. And of course I have some from years past. So I have a number of Easter door hangers or templates that I can do either in a door hanger or easel art. And the easel art is the 14-inch size, and you can put it on an easel, a decorative easel, or you can display it on a plate stand, a pretty plate stand. And basically the easel art is just a shrunk down version of the door hanger. And so I did a shrunk down version of one of the Mardi Gras templates that I have. And so the 14-inch is called easel art. And then something I started right toward the end of last year, the Broken Pieces collection, where I add shattered glass. It is actually the 14-inch piece as well, but it has shattered glass added to it. And so it gives it, and resin, and so it gives it a really, really bold shine, and also the shattered glass sparkles and gives it sort of a three-dimensional look. The Broken Pieces collection, there's always a percentage of the sales or a portion of the sales that goes to one of 3 local organizations that work with families or work with children. And so it was really cool because, oh, did I just get pink? I just got pink in that. Ah, not good. Hey, it happens from time to time. You get to working and you don't notice that from where you cleaned your brush out, it didn't quite get all of the other color out. This is why I try to start with the lighter colors and work my way to the darker colors. And the pink was kind of bold. All right, so I'm going to grab some more of the blue color here. And it's pretty much dry, so I'm just going to go ahead and start again and get a second coat on the blue bunny here, our little blue friend. I don't do a ton of decorating for Easter. Do y'all do a ton of decorating for Easter? I actually do not. I have, of course, a door hanger that I put out on the door. But I don't know that I really have another holiday that I decorate quite as much as I do Christmas. And I think most everybody is that way. There are some folks that actually decorate just as much for Mardi Gras and Valentine's and 4th of July as they do for Christmas. And, um, you know, I don't know. I would like to get to where I do that, where I decorate, take pictures, show everybody. But I'm not there yet. we'll just we'll just go there. I'm not there yet. I'm gonna say I'm a work in progress. we'll we'll go with that. I am a work in progress. So this little bunny on the end over here, I'm actually going to put some polka dots on this little bunny. And so I'm going to get him colored in mint green, or actually it's called sea breeze, but it has the mint green look to it. And if you're tuning in and wondering what in the world is she painting, it is a truck with Easter bunnies. I know I've got it flipped on its side right now. Last week I couldn't. That was another reason why I painted tonight. Last week I couldn't paint because I didn't have a voice. It would have been really, really hard to send hand signals and paint all at the same time. I have 2 times a year that I have to deal with whatever is in the air with my allergies. And of course, with all the other sicknesses going around and our pandemic that we've dealt with, of course, you almost hate to go anywhere if you have any kind of little cough or sniffle or sneeze, because people look at you like, you have 3 heads and are carrying the plague or something. And so I didn't really do much last weekend because I knew if I went out and I started having a sneezing fit, and that's one of those things that I definitely know it's my seasonal allergies, because all 3 of us, me, my husband, and my daughter, all 3 of us have seasonal allergies, and we all have these sneezing fits. And jokingly, when my daughter was little, we used to say that we had the sneezels, and of course, she thought that was the greatest thing. Um, Actually, I think she may have come up with it one time. A cartoon that she watched was about a little girl who was uh, actually, she wanted to be a doctor to stuffed animals, or she was a doctor to stuffed animals. And I believe one of the sicknesses or ailments of one of the stuffed animals was that he had the sneezels. And so one time when I had my allergies acting up, my daughter, of course, being the wonderful little nurse and helper that she was checking me out with her little doctor kit that she had, and pronounced that I had the sneezels. And so that's where the sneezels came from. But anyway, when we all get to having the sneezies, then a lot of times we'll declare that we have the sneezels. Okay, so I've almost got. Oh, I got to do his other ear over there. I've almost got this one completed in the second coat. And then we can move on to, I think I'm going to work on the truck next. Matter of fact, it may be, well, I've got to do a couple more things, but the truck is coming next. So I'm going to do the truck in a lavender color. Give that just a second, and I'm going to add one more coat to that. Yep, fix my boo-boo there. And a little bit of a boo-boo there. So if you decorate for Easter, what kind of things do you put out? Or where do you decorate? Do you decorate mostly inside? Do you decorate just the door on the outside? Do you decorate um, all the windows? My mom had decorations for all the different things. Easter and spring, she would have a tote with all kinds of decorations in it. And then, of course, fall was, other than Christmas, was her favorite. And so she had all kinds of spring stuff. Oh, look at our bunnies. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Oh, I just remembered I have to do the bumper in gray and I totally forgot. Oh well, we'll work with that in a little bit. I'll find another brush. Right now, I am going to put lavender on here because I want to see what this truck looks like. I've never used this lavender color, y'all. Okay, so I buy paint periodically, and I'll buy it because number one, it's on sale, but number two, I will buy paint because you never know when you may need that color. Yeah, I mean, something come up the other day on one of the groups, painting groups I'm on, and they said something. Oh, don't paint the bumper purple, Sandy. They said in the group something about supplies and um, having too many crafting or painting supplies, and it was just like unanimous above around the group that that's just not possible to have too many painting supplies because you just never know when you may need that particular shade of that particular color. And I laughed because I was like, yeah, I'm quickly approaching that point. I'm gonna brag on my hubby. My hubby. I have a you can probably see it, the edge of it over here. This is actually a 3-tier tray, and I have paint all in this tray, this metal tray over here. Well, now if you can see that, that's a piece of wood underneath it. He created a lazy Susan. So check this out, y'all. I can spin my tray around now, my tier tray. So before I was actually having to kind of slide it and scoot it to get to all my paints, which was aggravating as all get out. And I was going to buy another lazy Susan, kind of like the one that I have my door hanger sitting on right now, which is just plastic. And he actually got some of the wood scraps from projects that he has worked on, and because he does the stained wood stuff part of Quilted Treasures, I handle all the painting, and he handles uh, like the tea light lanterns and um, he has a few door hangers that are stained that he does, but he handles all the staining and he handles um, more of the wooden keepsake items. And I handle door hangers. Now, I've gotten involved in a few of the keepsake items because he wanted paint on them. And so I've done a little bit, but it's kind of cool that we each have our own thing that we can contribute to the inventory of Quilted Treasures. He loves piddling with some wood stuff, and uh, I prefer to do the painting stuff. I'm not. I've never been real big on staining. I don't know why. I think it's because um, when I was in high school, the house that we lived in, my family and I, the outside had to be stained. And granted, it's a house. It's not like staining. Um, it's not like staining a small box or a piece of wood, but I don't know. I just I just was not real excited about staining stuff. Now, granted, we also used paintbrushes for that. We did not use rags or anything else. We used paintbrushes for the house. And yes, of course, it's a house, and so there was a good bit to stain, and it was oil based. It wasn't water based, and so, or I think it was oil based. I think that's one of those things that have always kind of intimidated me. The oil base. I like things that are simple and easy to clean up, and so I uh, I tend to stay away from things that require major cleaning products. Like mineral spirits and things like that. I still have moments where I lose my voice, so it's just the last little bit that I don't know. There's two things that I keep for about a week after I have to deal with my seasonal allergies, and that's issues with losing my voice and a cough. Now, this time I have not had a cough. I will get a dry spot or a tickle in my throat, and I will cough for a few minutes, and then and then it's over with. But the voice coming and going randomly, no real warning, just poof, all of a sudden I have no voice. But I was like, okay, I missed last week painting and chit chatting and spending time with everybody. I'm not gonna miss another week. About the only time I ever miss 2 weeks is around Christmas, and that's because you got things going on with family, and you've got New Year's and Christmas, and so that's about the only time I ever really missed 2 weeks worth of spending time on Facebook and hanging out with y'all. And I just realized this purple is really dark, and I think I have lost my detail lines on my truck, the truck bed. So I may be doing a little guessing game here in a little bit, but that's okay if I have to. I can look at the picture, and I think I can I think I can tell where they go. Now I could, um, and this is one of those things that you can do to help or just to make it look a little different. I could add just a little bit of white to this purple and do this part. Oh no. Hmm. You know what? Now I'm kind of worried that I may lose my letters. I don't often have a color that will just completely make my letters go away, but I'm a little worried I may lose my letters if I paint over them. Hmm. We shall have to think on this one for a minute. I know I got way off the rabbit trail, har har, with that, but I was talking about us doing different things, but I was also uh, thanking my husband for my spinny thingy. That's not what it's called. It's a lazy Susan, but anyway. So I can spin my tier tray around and get to my paints more easily. I'd gotten in the habit of pulling the paints that I was going to use. Um, I'm testing to see if I can see that line through there. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Man, that's not cool. That means I'm going to have to go around all my letters. I don't like going around all my letters. See, this is where I like to keep things easy. You just paint it. I'd already planned on doing the letters black, so it didn't matter that I painted over them. But now, if the lines are not going to show up, that means I can't paint over the letters. I'll have to trace them on there again. And this time I'll have to trace them with white, I guess. So that way they'll show up on the darker color. So we're just going over our truck again. And in just a minute, I will flip it back around so you can see all the pretty colors for our Easter truck. I like this lavender color. It's funny because I held it up to some of the other colors I have, and I'm like, it really doesn't look that different. I have the purple colors kill me. Purple Rain is one of them. Purple Pizzazz is another one of them. And Purple Cow. So I love the names of my purple colors. And no, that's not the names I gave them. That's the names from the paint company. I use primarily on most of my door hangers. I use Deco Art Americana, and so that is the names that they have given to the paint colors. And yes, I will admit that more than once, when actually saying the name Purple Rain, I have started singing the song in my head. For those of you who are 80s music savvy. Remember the movie and the song. I have a good friend who was all into Purple Rain. And we watched that movie multiple times. It was so funny because that particular friend used to come over to my house quite a bit during the summer months. And we would watch the same 2 or 3 movies nearly every Friday night. And my mom, who she would watch the same movie every now and then, but most of the time once she had watched a movie, that was it. She had watched it. It was, she was good. She might watch it a second time if everybody else was watching it, but for the most part, if she had watched it, she knew what was going to happen. She was done. And I'm just the opposite. I'm one of those. I will watch a movie over and over and over again. There is a pirate movie that most of my close friends know about my pirate movie obsession. And it's so funny because they have actually brought me things that they have found in stores or even at the theme park with the pirates on them. Oh my gosh, I like that purple. Oh wow. Okay, so I've got two coats on the outside. I am going to do this. I am going to lighten the purple just a little for this part of the tailgate, just a little bit, ever so slight bit. So I'm going to put some purple or lavender, sorry. I'm going to put some lavender there. I'm going to put that brush down before I paint everything around me here. And I'm just going to drop a little bit of white in there, not a whole lot, but just a little bit. I'm going to take the back end of my brush and stir it up. And then clean the end of my brush. And I am going, oh, I dripped water everywhere. I am going to see how this goes. So this is going to help me with the division part, because I will know where the line needs to go for the division of the tailgate and the sides of the truck. If you notice, it's just a little bit different shade. But I'm still thinking I am not going to see my letters through there, which is kind of frustrating because, you know, I drew it all out. And now I've got to go over it again. Oh, well. Hey, it could be worse. I could be having to freehand this. Oh, my goodness. And trust me, that would not end well. That's one thing I really want to work on. I want to say this year, but it might not happen this year. And that is getting better at my lettering. And it's crazy because I actually bought a course last year on lettering and an online course. And my thought was that this year, that's something I would work on. But this year, things are primarily focused on getting all the little T's crossed and I's dotted concerning my business. And just making sure that everything is good to go. As far as, you know, the business side of everything that, you know, everybody just doesn't want to deal with primarily. It's kind of like, you know, paying the bills kind of thing. But it's things that have to be done and needs to be set up right. And so, well, y'all, I completely lost my letters. Well, all of it will have to dry real good before I can put them back on there. So I won't get Happy Easter on there tonight, but I will post pictures once I get the Happy Easter on there. But that's okay. Sometimes, you know, things happen unexpectedly, but you got to keep moving along. And now I have the wonderful problem of just a little bit left and trying to get it mixed right. I thought I would have had that. Okay, so the last little bit here, and then we're going to move on to finishing up the last little bit of details, or the last little bit of painting, and then I can get to the details. But that'll have to dry really well before I can put my letters back on there. But you can see there's just a slight difference between the shading of the truck and the tailgate. And so that's going to help me when I go to put my lines for my outlines for all of this. And so now I'll know where the outlines of the truck are, since this is a dark purple, even though you wouldn't think lavender would be that dark, but ended up being a little darker than what I thought. Okay, so I'm going to move to my another thing that I could have done with the tailgate is I could have painted all of it lavender, and then I could have come back with a little bit of white if I didn't want to mix it like I did. I could have come back while the lavender was still wet and blended in some white to lighten it up just a little bit. So there's a couple of different ways you can do that. All right, so I've got a darker gray, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint the bumper a darker gray, and then I'm going to come back and go over it with a lighter gray. So that way there's a little bit of an effect going on there with the bumper, as far as, you know, maybe it's shinier in some spots and a little lighter, or maybe, you know, the bumper is older and it's, you know, not as shiny as it once was. We're going to start out with the darker gray, and then we're going to come back with a lighter gray over the top of it. So part of my voice issues last week, part of it was my sinuses, and part of it was me yelling my head off at a concert that my daughter and I went to. And I know, truth comes out, right? I love concerts. I have loved concerts since, let's see, the very first concert I ever attended, I was in fourth grade, I think. I think it was fourth grade. And I'm a big music person. And so concerts are just my thing. I love concerts. So last Friday night, there was a concert here in Mobile, and Mobile, Alabama. And so we went, and we had a great time. And like I said, I yelled and I screamed and sang at the top of my lungs. And I knew I was going to pay for it. And part of the sinus problem that I had may have been mostly from the smoke machine, because I think I have some issues with smoke machines. It seems like no matter what I do with a concert, I always tend to have some problems the next day from smoke machines. And so part of me missing last Sunday was allergies from whatever is blooming right now, and part of it is from the concert that we went to last Friday night. But we had a blast. So all I'm doing right now is I am actually working with some light gray and just kind of, I don't really have it real thick on my brush, and so I'm just kind of scraping over, just creating like lines, streaky lines over that darker gray. And then this side, I actually came back with a little bit of dark gray just to kind of tone it down a little, because sometimes I get a little carried away with the streaks. And so to tone it back down, I can just take and run some of that darker gray back over the top of it. Now, this side over here, I think I need a little more of the lighter. And of course, I got it clumped up in a couple of places, so I'm just going to tone it down a little. You know, I love watching people who bake, and I do some baking, not like, you know, decorative cupcakes or cakes or things like that. Um, but I do enjoy baking, and I like to watch some of these crazy baking shows and some of the stuff they come up with, and some of the cakes and cupcakes that they create just blow my mind. But I remember the very first job I had was at a grocery store. And I remember I was not old enough to be in the deli and the bakery area. But after watching the little films that they made us watch before we were technically sent out to actually do our jobs, one of the films that all of us had to watch for some reason was about the deli and the bakery, and of course, you know, safety and all that good stuff. And it was so funny because after it was over with, the lady who was I guess like the HR person, she handled all our schedules and everything. And she said, you know, she said, she asked who was in the deli and bakery area. She said, you know, y'all have the really fun job, because not only do you get to be around food all day long, she said, but for those of you in the bakery part, you will never know about any of your mistakes. She said, because when you make a mistake, you get to eat it. And I was thinking, you know, that might be cool on one hand, but on the other hand, if you made a lot of mistakes and all of a sudden they were short about 4 or 5 cakes, they might actually know how, you know, many mistakes you made. So, but I always thought that was funny. I was like, you know, in painting, it's pretty cool because there's things you can do when you make mistakes. You can either create something different out of it, or you know, my big thing is always keep a baby wipe handy, and um, you can work on erasing it, but you can't eat a painting mistake. So that was always one thing I was like, oh, if I ever decided to do baking, you know, I wouldn't have to admit to anything. Just eat the mistake and keep going. All right, so there's the tires. The tires are done now. So let's have a look. Okay, so we've got things going with the bumper. And I'll probably come back with some white and add a little white into that as well, so it won't be just the dark gray and the light gray. Add some white to it. Speaking of white, I'm going to do this license plate before I end up messing up the white that I have by letting it sit too long. Yeah, that was the same brush that I just did the black with. I should not have used that. Okay, where is... I used that one in the purple. Let's see. See if I can get a true white without messing up too badly. Yeah, I think I've gotten enough of the purple out of this one that I can...
I'm gonna have to edit this because this is cute.
I can get the white to be a true white color. All right, so there's the license plate. Let's see what else we can get accomplished for the evening. Let's look here. Oh, I know something else I can do. I can't do anything with the words because I've got to let that dry really, really well before I can trace my letters back out on them. So my words are kind of out for tonight. I'll have to post a picture of those, but I can get the lights done. That's one that needs to be accomplished real quick. So we'll get the tail lights done. And as far as the bunnies go, I'm going to put polka dots on one of them. Not sure what I'm going to do with the other two.
Hang on, don't move. I'm waiting for the one.
I could finish this one up next week. I've done that before. I've done some door hangers in two parts. And it's all right, but I'm one of those that I like to get it completed so that way I see what it looks like. And I can show you what it looks like. All right, I'll have to do one more coat of the red. Now on the bunny, the pink bunny, I'm thinking about doing a chevron. I might can do it real quick. All right, so there is one coat. And I'll put another coat on this one. Some of y'all have seen me use my heat gun to get colors dry, and you may be wondering, why aren't you using your heat gun and just get the letters done? I can use the heat gun and I can get it drier, but you have to be careful when you're using tracing paper, which is what I'll have to use in order to get my letters back. You have to really make sure that it's dry. Now the heat gun will get the paint pretty dry so that you can add a second coat or do another color on top, but I would just feel better if I let it dry overnight and then come back and do the letters. I am dripping water all over my stuff here, y'all. That's not good. Okay, so tail lights are done. Let's see what we can do with the chevron pattern that I want to do. I think what I'm going to use is chalk. And this is one of those, it wasn't planned out prior to, so I'm having to find my chalk here. I used to have a piece out here somewhere, but I think I tossed it in this bag. I think. Yes, I did, because there's a used piece of chalk. Most of them are just broken pieces of chalk. But that one's actually used. All right, so I am going to do a chevron pattern on the pink bunny over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn him around. So he's going to be upside down for a few minutes. But here's how I'm going to create this chevron pattern. So there's one there. And what I'm going to do is just work on drawing some lines that's going to create what will be the chevron when I start painting. I'm actually going to do the chevron in a darker color. And so the bunny is lighter and the chevron will be darker. So now for this section here, I was trying not to go over the top of this paint, but I'm going to hold it up just a little bit so I can watch what I'm doing here. So come down and go up and come down and go up. All right, so there's one part of the chevron there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line there and create a line there. I'm doing this with chalk because chalk is really easy to get off with a baby wipe. And so once I paint, then I can come back, or even like, here, I'll show you on this one. Like this, I feel like I've got that a little too close. And so I just wipe it off with a baby wipe, and I'll give it a few seconds to dry, and then I'll come back and move the lines up just a little bit. All right, so right here, I'm going to go up, up, and down for a chevron pattern there. And then up and down to complete that chevron. Bless you. And there's that pattern there. And I will straighten these up as I there's actually supposed to be a line for the bunny there. And then the last part of the chevron here will actually go down that way. So all of that basically will be part of the chevron on that bunny. But this will actually have a line there that creates his foot. So, all right. So now this is dry. So I'm going to come back up and go up just a little and make that chevron line a little bit different. So that way I've got a little more room. All right. So real quick, I'm going to show you how I'm going to paint this with the darker color right, so I got to go over that one more time. So this is called Royal Fuchsia. It's a darker pink, and I am just going to put it on my chevron lines here. So let's see. That looks like a good one. I'm going to turn this, let's go this way. I'll turn it this way and work from this side. So now on the top of the bunny, I'm not going to go down as far as I did. I'm going to keep it kind of shorter. So the top of the ear is actually going to be the chevron pattern. And I'm just going to, I'll erase this line with, there it is, with my baby wipe. So that way I'll remember, don't go back and paint in that one because you moved that chevron line. And then I ran the baby wipe through the darker pink, which was, boo-boos happen. What can I say? This is why we keep baby wipes handy, because they make a very quick cleanup of boo-boos when painting. So, all right, so there's that first one. And now I'm going to, you can either paint over the chalk lines or you can paint just inside the chalk lines. A lot of times I will paint over the chalk lines, but in this particular case, I think I'm going to stay just within. And the reason why I am doing that is I kind of want these chevron lines to be a little bit skinnier than what I actually drew them. And so I am just going to go a little bit on the inside and make this just a little skinnier than what I started out with my chalk lines. And I'm just going to do this roughly for right now. And then I'll show the finished either tomorrow or Tuesday. All right, so now you're beginning to see the stripes on the bunny. And this one, I think I'm going to move this one up some. So I'm actually going to come a little higher with this one. And do the chevron pattern. And probably just a little below there. And so all of this will be the pink color, the darker pink. So this is a fat little chevron here. And then I'm going to go back a little bit. This one I'm going to leave right where it is. Just give you an idea of what I'm planning for the bunnies. So this one's going to have a chevron pattern to it. And I'll come back and outline my chevron. And highlight it and all that good stuff. And then the last one. And I'm going to leave that one where I put it. Of course, I said that was part of its foot, so that will actually be outlined. And this part of the chevron actually goes all the way to the bottom. Okay, so there's the chevron pattern on that bunny, and I'll darken it up. And then I'm going to show you real quick what I'm going to do for the blue or the sea breeze color bunny. What I'm going to do with him is I'm going to add some polka dots onto him. And so I'm not going to add all of them, but I am going to add a few just so you can see what my thought process is here, or what I plan on doing. So I've got my sponge pouncer to do my polka dot, and I'm just getting it covered with paint. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a spot, and probably right about here. I'm just going to push down, twist, and lift straight up. And so he's going to have polka dots on him. And so we'll have a plain bunny, a polka dot bunny, and a chevron bunny. And then down here we'll say Happy Easter. All right, so I'm going to finish it up, and I will post pictures once I get it all finished up and completed. And like I said, I'm going to let this finish drying really well. It feels dry, but it still has a little bit of a coolness to it. So it's just a little bit touchy, but it won't be long and I can trace out my letters again. So that is our Easter Bunny truck. And I figured my voice probably would go at some point. Hey, I've been thankful that it lasted this long. So I hope y'all have a wonderful Valentine's Day and a great week. And thank you so much for tuning in with me and hanging out with me. And I will see you next Sunday.